Hello and welcome back to the... Hang on.
I'm happy with the music choice. Oh yeah, that's better.
Hello and welcome back to the Solo RolePlayers podcast. I am your host, PJ, for a brand new year in solo role-playing as a solo role player, and I am thrilled, energized, and excited to be back to normal life where I can actually find time to do this wonderful thing and create this content and play all these games. I cannot wait. It's very cold outside, but I'm warm inside, and I am excited to be back now. Today on the show, what I want to do is this. This is a bonus extra episode, as I've been doing a few of recently because I just can't get enough of talking about this stuff. Today, what I want to do on the show is just say Happy New Year. And, I mean, it's not just say Happy New Year. I want to say Happy New Year. I want to say I hope you all had a fantastic, safe, fun, full-on Christmas and holiday and New Year's period and all that stuff. However it is that you choose or are able to celebrate it, and that you are too excited and energized to get back into normal life and some more solo roleplay. I want to talk a little bit about what is coming up this month in January. I have the usual 2 episodes planned for the month. I think that's how it works with the schedule this month. Sometimes it's 3. I want to talk about that, and then what I want to do is to go through this pile of stuff that has been building up on my desk and building up on my soul and that needs sorting and organizing, all solo roleplay related. And I'm going to use you all out there and this microphone as an excuse to dig through it, make some tough decisions, what gets to go on the shelf, what has to come off the shelf. I only have so much shelf. And a little bit of unboxing and talking about what this stuff is. Most of it is new stuff. There is some older stuff on here as well that is piled up here for some reason, because it needs to be sorted through. I'm going to take you along with me on that journey, and then I'm also going to talk a little bit about what I have planned for the month of February, so you can get involved in that too. There is so much going on. I'm so excited. And then when I finally clear this desk, I'm going to damn well play some Dolmenwood, because I just mixed another episode of that for the premium feed over there, and I'm so excited to continue that story. It is just wonderful. I just love it, and I want to get through some more of that so I can get into more other things. Whew, that was a lot. Cup of tea. If you don't have one, get one. If you drink tea, and let's roll into this, and we will just calmly and systematically dig through these 2 piles on my desk. I now have the Cat Empire playing in my ears. Very great Australian band. We've seen them a bunch. My wife and I worked on a festival back in my hometown, and they came as their headliner, so we got to meet them and everything. Really cool, really upbeat. Exactly what I needed for the start of this show. If you don't know the Cat Empire, check them out. They're pretty cool. Aussie band. Now, first thing, what is coming up in January? Continuing this idea that I started in December, which was to sort of at least loosely theme the months a little bit. So it's just a bit more coherent, or coherent's not the right word. It's all coherent, I hope. A bit more connected, but also so it allows me to sort of maybe try and plan a little bit better and block things out further in advance, because there is so much content to make. And it's useful for me to be able to categorize things and block them out like that. So this month, in the spirit of what we are doing for this month's book club, which we've talked about it for a few months now, we're finally getting to it. And patrons out there, you can consider this the official announcement that we're going to try and fit this in January, since it takes less prep than the usual book club stuff for you. And for me. So announcing that, and inspired by what is happening in this book club, which is more of a show and tell than a book club. Usually what we do is choose a book which is hopefully accessible to people, so you don't, not encouraging people to spend money they don't have, but get a book of a game that you haven't played, make a point of getting a few sessions, or at least one session of that book to the table, and then coming together and talking about it at the end of the month. And that's been a really great way for me, and for, from what I hear from the attendees of it, just that little bit of it's that solo together feeling, which is such a wonderful feeling that I did not expect to be part of this hobby when I started it. And that's a really, really great thing. And we get that a lot over on the Discord. That feeling of doing stuff together. And I do plan and hope to do more group, joint, solo activities and stuff. So we usually do that with a game. What we're going to do this time, which is a little bit different, is it's more of a show and tell, kind of, half show and tell, half book club. And I want to explore some of the solo systems that we use, or rather the systems that enable us to play solo. I don't think they necessarily have a name. Sometimes they're oracles, sometimes they're game master emulators. They might even be a system included with a game. I know some people are using Calarath system to play other things, other modules and stuff. I know some people use Ironsworn or Starforge to play other games and things like that. So whatever that system is, that thing that allows you to play solo that you love the most or that you are currently using, I want to hear from you, both in the book club and outside of the book club if you're not in it, to write in it and talk about your system of choice and what feeling it gives you playing solo, why you like it. Yeah, and just like give us a bit of show and tell about what that system is. For me, that probably is Mythic, or it could even be my own system that I'm working on. I'm not sure. I'll have to decide that in time for the book club. But for you, if you want to follow along this month with the activity, do a little write-up. Even if you're not planning to send it or whatever, although why not? You might as well send it to me. Putting your thoughts down on paper like that, I find, for me at least, helps you understand yourself better and the style of solo roleplay that you like better. So that's a cool little exercise to do. And in addition to that, the goal is for the book club and for you lot out there is to pick something else that you haven't used and use it with a system that you usually play your regular system with. Does that make sense? Say I play Fallout with Mythic, which I do. I would then maybe take Juice Oracle or Plot Unfolding Machine or something else that I don't use as much and play it with the same game for a session or two as a way to compare the differences between those systems and how that makes me feel and what I like better, that kind of thing. So that is the goal for you this month if you want to be involved in this month's book club, this solo module, solo system book club. And you can send that into soloroleplayerspodcast@gmail.com. In the vein of that, the other things coming up in this month is next week, I am finally going to bring out that long-awaited interview with Jensen Vaz, the creator of the Plot Unfolding Machine and all of the other unfolding machines. We did that interview a little while ago. Since then, I know he has made huge strides in the digital version of Plot Unfolding Machine. I'm really keen to talk to him again soon about some design stuff. Jensen, I know you're a listener. I haven't told you that, but I do want to talk to you again soon. I have ideas. And we're going to finally hear that interview from him next Wednesday when that comes out. And the second half of the month, I have another interview with another solo mode designer. I'm not going to say who that is just yet because there's a chance I might change that. Very excited about that. These people are really inspirational who get out there and make the thing that they want to see in the world and then put it out there. And for those people, I am eternally grateful because they allow us to do great things. It's wonderful. That is pretty much what is coming up in this month of the show. Without further ado then, let's get into this pile of stuff on my shelf so I can finally clear it out of my consciousness and get back to my desk so I can play stuff. And we're going to do that right about now. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is just going through each item on this pile one by one, talking a little bit about what it is and why it's there, and then making a hard decision about where it goes. So it'll be chill, so just chill with me. The first thing on this pile is some blank index cards, or nearly blank index cards, from where I started setting up. I mean, I'm really loving the use of index cards more and more. I don't know why. I just like the neat little containment of ideas and also the limitation of size to fit stuff on there somehow. I don't know. Anyway, I started doing my world building session for Daggerheart a while ago now, and then thought, actually, no, I want to do that on mic. So I paused that, and that was before the Christmas rush and everything. So that is that. That is going in the Daggerheart pile over here. As I also pull my character sheets from Daggerheart, I have 2 characters in mind. One I have fully built, the other one I started. I have a wizard and a guardian. Really excited about Daggerheart, but I'm trying not to think about it just too hard just yet because I have other stuff to do first, and I don't want to lose where I am in Dolmenwood and forget all the rules of that before moving on to Daggerheart. Daggerheart I plan to do a whole month on as well, like Dolmenwood, probably in March, maybe April. I am going to Australia for a couple of weeks at the end of March, beginning of April. I'm not sure how my schedule is going to fit around that. I certainly won't be doing any recording in Australia. It's going to be a whirlwind trip over Easter with many hundreds of kilometers and thousands in between. So yeah, we'll see about that. But my current plan is to preload enough content to do the whole month of March about Daggerheart. I have my core book here is the next thing on the pile, and the printout maps of the 5 Banners Burning campaign frame, which is what I intend to play in my solo Daggerheart campaign. I also have the box thing with the cards in it, which I threw out the plastic insert that was in there because I always find they waste so much space, and I crafted out of timber at work the other day a little, just small timber separations for I'll take a picture for the Discord, small separations for the cards that hopefully it fits a lot more in there, and I hope that if I do enjoy Daggerheart as much as I think I am going to, that I will get the expansion stuff, and I hope that all the cards might fit in this one box, and that would make me very happy. I love it when I can consolidate those things. So that is Daggerheart stuff. It has a space on the shelf already, so I was going to go right there on the shelf. Easy decision. Daggerheart is here to stay. That is okay. That is Daggerheart all nestled in its little spot on my shelf in between Vaesen and Cosmere and Walking Dead. Anyway, whatever. My shelving organization logic, air quotes, is not important. But something that I would wish on the world of RPG a little bit from designers is the understanding that the paper sizes are different in Europe and Australia and the US. Or rather, I think it's just the US that's different to everywhere else as usual. And I think designers don't realize that sometimes. And so when printing character sheets and things, they don't fit with the book or the box. And I guess I could go buy different size sheets. I even went to the post office the other day and said, "Do you have the American style sheets?" And the German post office lady looked at me like I was insane. So I don't know. And I never think of it until I actually print something and try and fit it on a shelf together. That would be a small wish that I have for the world of cultural understanding between different sides of the pond for RPG playing. The next thing on the pile is Knave 2nd Edition. And this is an interesting one to be on the pile because I've had this for quite a while. I haven't played it, and I pulled it out recently for a particular reason, which is I want to have another crack at a different type of dungeon crawling. And I'm constantly told that this is the book for dungeon crawling because it has so many tables. And there really are so many tables. And I really want to find what it is I like about dungeon crawling, find a system, which I'm going to try Old School Essentials for this, a system that I like dungeon crawling that allows me to just draw cool maps and enjoy going through a dungeon without it feeling too repetitive or, whatever else. So Knave is out because I was recently away and I wanted to look into that a little bit. That can also go back on my shelf, but it is something I want to pull out soon. I also just had, with my lunch downstairs, a little read through the Solo OSR game, the Solo OSR module book, maybe one for the book club, to sort of compare those two ideas, because in that I like the idea. It shows you how to meticulously draw a random dungeon. So maybe the combination of these two things could be a good tool for that. So that is why Knave is on my table. I'm not necessarily intending to I could just play Knave. It is just an old school game. One of my issues is it's a hardcover book that's too thin, and that bugs me. I don't like it when a hardcover book is too thin. I feel like I can't flick through it as easily, especially if I'm looking for tables or something. I actually just want it soft cover, and I don't even think there's an option to get it soft cover. Very silly, I know. Next on the list is the Forbidden Lands solo rules, the expanded solo rules, expanded from what is in the Book of Beasts that I've been using. I've used these extra rules to varying degrees, and the reason it's out is because my son has started playing Forbidden Lands solo, and I'm so proud, and he's having a great time. I actually put together a advent calendar for him. It's always my job to think of something creative for the advent calendar, and I sort of made he's wanted Forbidden Lands for ages. I got him a copy, and I put together a advent calendar where every day he built a bit more of a character, and then at the very end he got the game, and now he's been playing that, and I'm very proud. And this is on my desk because he started using these and then decided he was just going to stick with the Book of Beasts, which he's borrowed. And so he came and put it on my desk. So that is why the Forbidden Lands solo rules are there. I do recommend you check it out. There is some really cool stuff. There's some solo-specific classes, which, although I haven't used because I discovered it after I started my session, but they have the Explorer and the Scout classes there, and the expanded journeying I do use as well. It's just a few tweaks to it which make it a little bit more solo friendly for the encounters and the exploration, and a way to use the cards, the advanced combat cards solo, and creating solo sites, whatever. Anyway, it's good stuff. I recommend checking it out. You can get that on Drive through RPG. I got it printed at Lulu, and although my formatting is a bit wonky because the size is weird, it's really nice to have a physical copy of that. That's Forbidden Lands solo. Going back on the shelf. The next thing on the pile of opportunity here is the beginning of our Black Friday evidence. And this is the One Ring Tale from the Lone Lands. And I have slightly mixed feelings about this. Not really. I'm keen to get back to my One Ring play where I started the Boromir Lives journey. I'm sort of towards the end of that. I haven't done anything since we did the book club for that a couple of months ago. But as things settle down now, I do plan to do that off mic in preparation for getting into Moria. And this one I got just because I love the cover. I love the feel of these books. I love the books. And it was half price, I think, on Black Friday. And although I was told it really should be used with its counterpart book, which I forget what that's called, which was not half price, I just sort of got this kind of just for inspiration. I really love the art. I just love these books. And it even looks like, I mean, there's some adventures here. It'd be a good candidate for the deconstruct the known style of play, where I can just sort of cruise through and use this book and this adventure that's in here, messing about in boats, chapter 2. It's just beautiful. Use the adventure that's in here to basically draw ideas, because one of the struggle I have with the One Ring is I don't know Tolkien well enough, or at least I feel I don't, and then I'm always second guessing myself as to what goes in there. So I thought this could help me. I could draw from NPCs and locations and stories and rumors and stuff from in here. For example, hidden amid the reeds here is a little boat of hide stretched over a frame of woven branches made by Skilda Heather's older brothers before they were eaten. Cool. It's simple but serviceable and can be used to paddle out to the raft to rescue the prisoners. Bam! I have a starting scene there. I don't even need to necessarily know who the prisoners are or what I'm doing, but I have a starting scene there for my little potential party of, what are we called? Rangers of the North or whatever, to go through it and save something. So that's what I plan to use it for, just as a spark, a springboard for Tolkien One Ring ideas. It is going on the shelf. And it's nice and slim. That always helps. Okay, the next thing on the pile is the printed Dolmenwood map that I totally forgot I pre-ordered from Necrotic Gnome a while back. And in the meantime, went and got my own map printed. But it worked out quite well because the map I got printed is one of the maps from the map kit, which you can download for free from the Dolmenwood section of the Necrotic Gnome website. And it has a lot less information of it. It sort of sits somewhere between the player map, which has bugger all information on it and really cool, weird artwork, where you can basically see roads and rivers and a few major sites, and that's it. It's a more functional map because it actually has hexes and hex numbers, but it is lacking all of the names of cities. It's lacking all of the ley line stuff, which is part of my adventure, is discovering and mapping those ley lines, or at least I plan it to be. And so I think that was a little blessing in disguise that I printed up that map. I think it's a really great thing for solo. I had never done this before. I think I spoke about this already, but I had never done this before. I just went to an online poster shop and printed it up like a poster, and the material is not ideal for a map. It doesn't want to be folded, for example, but it worked out okay. And you could actually just happily print this out on an A3 or something sheet normally, or two A4s and stick them together, and it'll be very functional. Or do it digitally if you do stuff digitally. Dolmen wood. I love you, Dolmen wood. This is going on the shelf as well, next to my GM screen. And speaking, we'll get to the GM screen in a second. The next thing on my current pile on my shelf is a Mouse Ritter, and this is here. This is here because I am, in theory, running this game for a couple of mates, although we haven't played it. We're sort of jumping between this and Dragonbane, and I really want to get into some Shadow Dark, maybe even Daggerheart, and this is why it's hard. This is why solo is better, because I can jump around between games, and it's sort of hard for me to go. They're like, yeah, but we're actually in the mouth of a snake at the moment, and we want to finish that adventure. And I'm like, yeah, but new shiny games. So it is out because I wanted to remind myself to prep a little adventure, or finish prepping this adventure that we're currently on, and book in another session with them. Everyone's been busy over the year. I don't think I love Mouse Ritter, I think is what I've come to. And I think it's because if I want a mousy game, I want it to be a little grittier. I want it to be more like Mouse Guard, if you're familiar with that, which is a bit more quote unquote realistic, rather than this, which has like magic and like some silly things in it. And I think the silly stuff could be really great and fun, and especially with a younger audience, but that's not what I want out of my mousy game. However, there is great stuff in here. There's really good tables, backgrounds. The adventures are really cool. I like the way that they're laid out. It's just a simple little brochure, which leaves plenty of space for imagination. I think the hex crawl system, which we haven't actually used yet, but I think the hex crawl system is quite good too. There's a landmark is a field of flowers. You can get a lot of flavor from that being a mouse. One of the reasons I love the idea of playing a mouse-sized adventure. Anyway, so that's why that's on my table. My actual current plan is to give that away. I think they're more into it than I am, and I just don't see myself playing it solo over everything else that I have going on, and I think they love it. I think I might just give it to them so it can be appreciated. Or if not, my son might like it, but he has enough to play as well. So that's why that is out there. That is an undecided part of the pile. I wasn't going to allow myself undecided parts, but so be it. Ooh, I forgot I got really nice Daggerheart dice for Christmas that are hiding behind the pile. I got a really nice D20 and D12s from a guy who's hand making this stuff in Berlin, just so they felt a bit more meaningful than the dice that came with the game, that I got with the game. And I really love the idea that the DM is rolling different dice to the player. I love that in solo. In fact, I think it's becoming almost a requirement for me, since I'm just hacking stuff now anyway. So those are those dice. I need to find a home for them. I'm running out of space for dice, but they're very pretty. The next thing on the pile, as I said, it kind of bums me out a little bit. This is one of those irresponsible backs This game came up a while ago, a couple of years ago, I think, on Kickstarter. It is Tainted Grail: Song of a Dying World. And I was a big fan of the board games of Tainted Grail. Early in my solo career, before I discovered RPGs, I played solo board games, and that was an early discovery. And which I don't think that many people did, but I played through all 3 of the full campaigns. Yes, it was Corona lockdown time. I played through all 3 of the campaigns, and while the mechanics then eventually got a bit boring to me, I really loved the story, and I really, really enjoyed it. And when it came up on Kickstarter, I pretty quickly decided I was not interested in it as an RPG. One of the reasons was, at the same time, there was something called The Winter King, which I was a little bit more drawn to, and I backed that instead. I don't know how I feel about that now, and it hasn't come yet, so I don't know anything about it. I stopped looking it up. And then I saw, much later on, right at the very end, not even of the campaign, but very end of production, they reopened the Pledge Manager, and I learned that there was a solo mode now with Tainted Grail, and I thought, wow, if there's a solo mode, I gotta get it. Having not done enough research, I did not realize that you do not actually need the game to play the solo mode, and now that I see the solo mode, which can be played in a small A5 book, I thought that is actually cool. I really want to try that, but that's all I needed. I didn't need to spend all this extra money on getting, of course, the deluxe core rule book, which, looking through it, I just have no interest in playing. It's just another roll high D20 system, which is my least exciting of systems. And of course, I got the solo box that I'm going to open here and have a look through, which is cool, and it is small. That's good. But I just don't think I need it. Like, it has a little map in it and some big standee, like punchboard standee stuff and tokens. I don't think I need it. I think if I'm going to play this, I think just having the little A5 book is really all I want. And now I don't know what to do with it, as again, I am despaired, or I despair that there is no really good way to trade or move on our RPGs like there is for board games. I don't know why. It annoys me. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to take... Here's what I'm going to do. I have to make a decision. I'm going to take out just the A5 book. I'm going to make a point to play it, because I think I can do that with pretty low input. I think it is a really interesting looking system. Oh, there's stickers, not tokens. It is a pretty interesting looking system, and probably quite procedural and board gamey, which is a good thing for solo. I don't know. I'm just going to try it. Maybe I do crack in the box. I do see there are some tarot cards here. Maybe that's cool. Maybe it is cool. I don't know. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to commit to actually just sit down and play that. Oh no, that's a... See, and I get a Tainted Grail blank diary. I don't need that. I don't want to write in a book that is all pretty with my terrible handwriting. I want books where I have removable pages and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try and sell the box. Maybe I don't know. But I'm committing to try the solo mode, see if I like it, and then decide what to do with it. But probably it will not stay around. At least the core game and the box probably won't stay around. I need to make tough decisions. Next on the pile is a massive, relatively speaking, stack of books that were sent to me. I'm very appreciative of that. ZerdaQuest Games, Roberto sent these books to me when I reached out to him to discuss the possibility of an interview, which we're still working out a time for, but I hope to do it soon. And he sent me all the books, which I probably don't need all of them, but I am certainly keen to check them out. Yeah, Loner is something I'm certainly interested in trying out. I think from what I hear, from what I've seen, Geek Gamers, I think I remember, talk about, and a few other people on YouTube, that it's a really good system to get started on. I really like some of the art in this. The Spacer one looks really cool. I'm interested in a space game. Yeah. So Loner, I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about later on in this episode. So I'm not going to continue talking about that now. I'm just going to move to the side so I don't forget to talk about that later. Next on the pile is something that I have been waiting for with the baitedest, a lot of breath, for 2 years, a year and a half, maybe not 2 years, at least a year. And that is ever since I found out there was going to be a this particular setting. I've been excited about it, and that is Fallout, the role-playing game Royal Flush. This was supposed to come out a year ago or something. They delayed it, presumably for the release of Season 2 of the TV show, which I have not started because I have to wait for them all to come out so that I'm not in a position where I want to watch the next episode and it's not out yet. This is very exciting to me because it is set in the part of the world that my campaign is set. The only issue I've had, really, although people have their issues with Fallout, I love it. My main issue is that I can't use any or don't use any or many of the published stuff in that book because it's all in the Commonwealth in Fallout 4 time. And here, at least, this is in the West, in and around New Vegas area, where my campaign is set. I'm not quite down in as far as New Vegas, but still in that same sort of area. And I believe at least there was planned to be mentions and pages and stuff on chapters and things on some of the factions that are in fact in my massive ongoing long-running Fallout campaign, which is still ongoing despite the slowness of my episode releases. And I'm going to open this right now with my now patented audio-only unboxing experience. See, you just can't get that anywhere else. I have been holding off to do this episode before I even look into this book. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking I should save this and do it over on a Wasteland Story because there hasn't been content out on there for a little while, but to hell with it, I'm here now. Let's just do it. Accelerate or diffuse a war in the Mojave. Maybe I'll take a deeper look at it over there. I'm just going to have a very quick flick because I cannot help myself. I've been waiting so long in here. Cool. Ooh, straight away. We're using cards. Encounter deck table. So we're drawing cards for encounters. That's new. In Royal Flush, as in life, there is no real way of knowing what's around the corner, a fact that is normally dealt with by rolling dice on pre-generated tables. However, in Royal Flush, we use a deck of playing cards. Okay, so it's just a deck instead of dice. We know how that works in solo role-playing, but I'm very happy to see it in here, going with the gambling theme. I presumably, and I hope, that they release a themed deck for it that is not too naff and good quality, and is also good quality, and then I will buy it immediately. Cool. Encounter deck. Love it. Mole rats, bloatflies. Designing encounters. Excellent. We have, this is probably deeper than I ever need to go. We have NCR dollar exchange rates. Whatever. Doesn't matter. NPCs, locations. Hawthorne. Interesting. Who is Hawthorne? It's a town. Maybe that can play into my story. I'm getting excited. I'm not reading any more about this. Now look at that gun. Stop it. Put it away. That is that Royal Flush quest book for Fallout, the role-playing game, going straight on the shelf. There is already a space awaiting it. Oh boy. Love it, love it, love it. Next on the list is a slightly unusual pick. This is another, it's not unusual, but the fact that I would just get this by itself, it is another Black Friday purchase. It is the map pack from Free League for the Bitter Reach, which is a Forbidden Lands expansion, which I do not own. However, the map pack was cheap, and I know I will get it one day because I love Forbidden Lands, and I love their books. I know that the Blood March is probably a better place to go next after Raven's Purge, but I'm just not into the aesthetics of that module. And as I said, I'm particular. I have to like the feel for things. I didn't like the look of the book. It didn't strike me. I don't know. Didn't like it. Bitter Reach is much more my thing, snowy area. And so I just got the map pack, which is stickers and another beautiful map. Man, do I love these maps. I was reminded again when I went into my son's room to tuck him in last night and saw the big Forbidden Lands map sprawled out over the table. The stickers are... the only thing I wish is that the stickers were paper instead of plastic. I know they did it with plastic so that you could have some see-through stuff and see behind it. This map is not as good a quality as the original. That's a shame, but it's okay. It's just a normal sort of poster. The original one felt special. All good. It is obviously and expectedly pretty white and sparse, as it should be in the snowy northern area. So that's the bit of reach. It'll be a while before that comes to the show. Doesn't matter. I wanted to have it. It has more cards. Cards are good. There's a snowball. Excellent. I think that's a mount. I think you can ride a snowball. That's cool. More weapons. Tarek's mysterious cap. A garish cap made of red and blue fabrics that are decorated with leaves and bells of silver. The cap has large ear flaps to protect the wearer against sudden sounds and keep them warm and toasty all through winter. It sounds like a KDM item. I love it. It's good. More Forbidden Lands is good. On the shelf. I think I should put the cards in the Forbidden Lands card deck, otherwise I'll lose them. And they fit. Excellent. I would only say that it could have been as nice a map quality as the original, but it's all good. It was pretty cheap. Okay, next thing on the pile, we are getting through it slowly. I don't want to keep you here all day, although I'm happy talking about this stuff all day. I guess that's the beauty about podcasts. You can take it at your own pace. This is an unusual purchase, again, also from Free League, also on Black Friday, because it was really, really cheap, and that is the Wake of the Icons map pack for Coriolis, the old one, the Third Horizon, and that is just because I have all of the Third Horizon stuff. I have not played it, as you know, but I made a point of picking up that stuff when it went out of print. Wake of the Icons. Yes, that's part 3, and I don't think you can get these books anymore. So it was there. It was very cheap because they don't make it anymore. I'm not even going to open that now. I'm just going to keep it as it is. It can go on the shelf. One day I'll do a big Coriolis adventure. I know I will. I look forward to it. Probably using my Forbidden Lands hack. Whew, and it fits. Okay, now we are getting down to the bulkier end of things. That is, let's stick with the theme then. There's the Journey in Avalon book. See, this is the Tainted Grail one. It is a lovely A5 size. I love an A5 size solo RPG book for solo play because you can hold it in one hand and roll a dice with the other. And if I'm going somewhere or I'm sitting at sometimes I like to play down at the kitchen table, as I'm currently doing over the last few days with 2d6 Dungeon, or 2d6 Realms, technically, because I can leave it set up and I just play like 5 minutes at a time when I walk past, and that is a really good thing to do. Small table footprint is good for that. Now, this is interesting, just flicking through it. I know I'm jumping around here, but I haven't actually looked in this. You have layouts of cards in a particular shape, reminiscent of what was that space game? I've got it here. I haven't played it. Dead Belt. Reminiscent of that, where it looks like you're exploring through this particular shape of cards. I don't know how that shape is going to affect things yet. And it looks like they're cups, coins, swords, and wands. It must be tarot stuff. Okay, cool. Well, then maybe I've got a tarot deck as well. Maybe I'm being too harsh on thingy. Okay, keeping that aside, because that is one small book, Journey in Avalon, that I could have just, if I did more research, just got this book, and then I would have been happier or less bummed. And it's good. It's a nice, heavy little book. It's got 2 ribbons in it. Good. I'm leaving that out because I do intend to actually try it before deciding what to do with the rest of it. In the spirit of jumping around, there is something related to something I just talked about, but I'm going to leave it for the end. For reasons. The next thing is another box set. I have 2 box sets left on this table. And box sets are tricky because they don't fit on my shelf. Currently, I have the One Ring box set up there, Dragonbane, Walking Dead. Those are all my box sets. And I can't fit anymore. I don't know what to do. Unless I can... Anyway, not interesting audio content. This box set is... This is something I had not heard about. And when I saw a picture of it on Black Friday, also heavily discounted, when I saw a picture of it, I instantly became very, very intrigued. And after some brief discussions in the enabling place that is our Discord, I decided to pick up a copy. And it is something that is very different from any other TRPG I have, and something I'm very interested in looking into. That is Twilight 2000, also from Free League, and this is a classic role-playing game. I guess it's a classic, just like the original 1984 edition. Interesting. Okay, didn't know anything about this, but this is a survival in it looks like a realistic post-apocalyptic, as in not quite apocalyptic, but just a never-ending war zone. In the midst of utter destruction, you can start to build something new. Rally people to your ranks, stake a claim, protect it, and maybe if you live long enough, start turning the tide. I hear good things. I love that it's a realistic-looking map. There are battle maps. There are cards, by the look of it, and custom dice. All things that are good. I don't know anything about it, really, but I'm excited to try. Patented Solo Roleplayers live unboxing audio. Don't cut your nose off. Oh. Okay. Ignoring the question of where the hell am I going to put this, I'm excited to look inside. Here we go. Quickly looking in. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but as hinted at on the back of the box, there are, in fact, I like it. There are custom dice. I love a custom dice. Interesting. I could maybe use these for Forbidden Land. No, that's silly. There's pictures of bullets on them. There is a deck of cards with initiative. Good. And encounters. Better. Games catalog, of course. And beautifully and stylistically different to anything else that I have. This very war, realistic... I mean, I think they're similar in like Cthulhu stuff, but like, you know, typewritten. Great. Secrets, situations. Although the city of Stockholm itself has been shattered by Soviet nuclear missiles, the enemy forces near Stockholm include so on and so forth. Reminiscent of just any of those, like, this is your mission should you choose to accept it, typewriter redacted stuff. Really love it. Quite a realistic looking hex map, which I also love with, oh, it's big. It's a big one. Wow, it's really big. And back to that really high quality Free League map stuff. I love it. It's super simple, but super big. It looks realistic. And I believe that the hex, I believe it's good, and I think it's really good for solo, is what I hear. Quickly tipping everything out, and yeah, reminiscent of the Dragonbane box set, I have 2 soft cover manuals, which I actually really, really love. I'm quite happy with that. Oh, tokens as well. Man, and a heap of hex battle maps. This really looks like something else. This looks like... I don't really have a tactical combat sort of game like this. This is very exciting. I really like this. Expect to hear more at some stage. Twilight 2000, the box set, and I believe, since it is old apparently, there is quite a lot of content out there for it. Next in the pile is the Dolmenwood map pack and adventure screen that was recently given away just, I think last week we did the draw, or the roll, for that, and of course, as irony would have it, the very wonderful and very well-deserving winner happens to be in the furthest reaches of the world, down in that place that no one has ever heard of, New Zealand. Very far away, very expensive to ship anything, so I have not shipped that yet. I've been in talks with them, and it might be a matter of me taking it with me back to Australia and trying to ship it from there, since that is at least a little bit closer. These are really fantastic things. If you haven't guessed that I love Dolmenwood, and that maybe it's worth checking out if it sounds like your thing, it's worth checking out if it sounds like your thing. And this map book especially is really evidence of that. The depth and the layers of what is in these maps, which is essentially all mostly the same map, but with different layers of information. It is wonderful. The settlement maps are also unlike any settlement maps I've seen. They are so flavorful, just lovely. Dolmen Wood is good. And this I need to go and pack in my suitcase so I don't forget to take it to the other side of the world. Coming to the end of the pile, finally. And this is something I don't think I'm going to talk about yet as I check my time. It's not too bad. I don't think I'm going to talk about this just yet because this may well feature on another episode. I'm not sure, but I am going to open it and decide as I go. This is a Kickstarter that arrived recently. We talked about it. Here's the opening. We talked about it with Man Alone over on that bonus episode over on the Patreon. If you missed it, there are now a couple of episodes over on the free section of the Patreon where you can listen to me talk with Man Alone about the end of the year and the year that was 2025. And this was a very unexpected addition to that conversation, which I thought was kind of dead, and especially, I mean, not dead, but conversation that I didn't think was going to continue, especially coming from Man Alone, who was the one who first told me he was very disappointed with the direction of Coriolis, the Great Dark. This is the Flowers of Algarab, and it sounds like Man Alone, for one, has come kind of full circle on his initial impressions because of this box. I have zero idea what is in here. I backed it so long ago, and I try not to look too closely at things because I like surprises exactly like this. Inside we have dice. Excellent. Custom dice. Lovely. We have cards that has a flamethrower on it. Also good. And the rest appears to be books, which is good because if I don't need the box, it's more easy. It is easier to fit on my shelf. Wonderful. Interesting. Okay, so we have some tokens. Always nice. We have an expedition booklet. Oh, I like this. I like this format. I don't know what an expedition booklet is. It looks like a system to explore. Okay, good, because in the core book, I think it was mostly just the delve stuff, which I think was a lot of the disappointment that people had. The art is great, as always, in this stuff. This is good. This is a thin, softcover book. I like it. It's glossy. I'd prefer if it wasn't glossy. I don't like glossy, but I'll allow it. It has a beautiful Third Horizon map. Look at that. Don't you love it? We have, the Charted Sphere. That is a beautiful, not glossy map. Love it. That is actually a place on a planet that one can explore. We have ships. We have pre-made colorful printing ships. Proper ship love is something that I've missed from almost every space game that I have played. That feeling of like your completely unique ship that is really part of you. I don't know how deeply this goes into it, but having like a blueprint of it that says, here's the reactor, here's the lab. Really, really liking that. And handouts, scan maps of the Well of Souls. Yes, please. Okay, I'm starting to get more excited about the Great Dark again. I'm really, really impressed with this, and I think I don't need the box, which makes it even better. Just have to figure out what to do with those tokens. Coriolis, the Great Dark, the Flowers of Algarab. Let me just see if it says what this actually is. Who doesn't love the mystery of a lost ship? I do love the mystery of a lost ship. The Mary Celeste, Fleur de Mal, HMS Terra, and its sister ship Erebus. Names that have captured the imagination of people throughout the centuries. The thought of a whole vessel disappearing into the vastness of the sea is as terrifying as it is intriguing. In a game like The Great Dark, where space is a direct parable for the sea, what could be a better source of mystery than the... I know that the is from Sweden Rolls. I mean, maybe it's from the original book, because I don't know Coriolis yet. I guess so. Interesting. And Man Alone said that there was something now that connects these things. Maybe I have beeped that out because maybe you don't want spoilers. But hey, this looks great. There's maps. There's other delve stuff. There is an actual adventure. This is more exciting. This is good. The Great Dark Flowers of Algarab. I am now officially excited again for the Great Dark. Wonderful stuff. All I need to do is find somewhere to put the cards and the dice, and I don't need the box anymore. I'm making that decision. I am getting rid of the box right now. Of course, when I say get rid of, I'm going to put it in a box in the basement. I'm not an animal. And that concludes, more or less, the piles on my desk. There is something here I'm not talking about because that is going to be a giveaway later. Whew. And then coming back to the final thing that I wanted to talk about on this episode, thank you for your patience and hanging around as I dug through that pile. And that is what I plan to do on the February category of the show, which is I want, based on a comment that I received, I'm not sure where I received it exactly. I think it was in a survey that I did or an email that I got, something like that. I'm not sure. I think it was a survey. And someone commented and said very nice things. And then also said, I'd love to hear more about free or affordable games because I just can't afford a lot of the games that you're talking about. And this is a privileged thing that I don't think about enough, obviously. I tend to be able to afford the games that I want to buy, and or in the position that I am, I get given stuff now, and I realize that that is not something that everyone has the luxury to do. And so I want to make a point of making February the month where we talk about affordable and or free games, of which there are so many. We are in a golden age of this hobby for tabletop role-playing in general, and of course for solo. And especially if you're okay with digital, there is so much great stuff out there that you can get for little or no money. And in that vein, I want to call out to you. I want you to write in and tell me, or I think I'll put a post up on Reddit as well, which might be easy to comment. I want to hear about your recommendations for the best free and or affordable games. Just use your best definition of affordable, like, I don't know, $5 or something, whatever. I mean, use your best guess or best definition of affordable, because I don't want to make it too strict a regulation and there's something that's 90 cents more expensive and then it falls out even though it's excellent. You know what I mean? Use your best judgment and tell me what the best ones are, and I will compile the list together and I will talk about it in February's little beginning of the month chat, where I am also going to be giving you the playthrough that I did of Beetle Knight, which I had a great time. That is a fantastic, affordable game. I also, and this is why I left it till the end, I also want to play or at least look at Loner as well, also, which I believe is a affordable game, and hopefully I'll get that interview put together with Roberto too. The nice thing about Loner, just looking at it here, I have Loner Spacer, Adventure Anthology, Omnibus, Dungeoneer, Steel and Sorcery, cool, and Paranormal Files. The thing about Loner is there apparently are lots of different angles, so you can take this simple system, as far as I understand it. I know very little about Loner, but I will soon, and choose your flavor. I'm interested in checking out the Dungeoneer because we know my dungeon issues. The Spacer because I am into spacey stuff and I don't feel like I have I'm just always interested in it. I have Starforged. I think that does a lot of the job for it, but for a smaller, more procedural thing, not sure. I do eventually want to get to Deadbelt as well. Getting off track. However, I am going to be talking about free or affordable games and hopefully playing or looking at Loner as well, and I will be giving away some of these books too, because I do not need all of them. So keep an ear out for that. That will be in February. That is at least the plan so far. Thank you so much for being here on the first official episode of the year of 2026 on the Solo Roleplayers podcast. I've said it before, I will say it again. I am so excited for another year in this hobby. I'm so happy to be back to normality where I can actually have some time to record and play games and get back into things. I have ideas as usual. There are announcements coming up. All good stuff. It's all about solo role-playing. I love it. You love it. Thank you all again for being here, and I will catch you next time on the Solo Roleplayers podcast. Until then, may all of your games be solo? No, I guess there's no. Maybe I need to catch that.